recently made a video in two parts. Only one of them is published as of right now, which is about finding your purpose. And I wanted to share some additional reflections for the people who are really dealing with this question in their lives. When I offer in those two videos, and maybe I even put a third one, when I offer different exercises about how to find your purpose, and maybe you have seen many more such exercises on the internet and so on, because for our generation this is very important, right? And for the younger one, I'm a really old millennial, so for the millennials, for the younger generation, what is it, Generation X, I just wanted to say that well, first of all, I think that finding your life's purpose is a little bit of a deceptive sentence, if it because when we say it, we kind of imply what we're gonna do as our jobs, as our occupation, and it's true that what we do is very important, because finding what we really love, because one of the purposes in life is definitely to develop your talents, to develop the things that you're good at, and create something beautiful out of your potential, right? But at the same time, I think that this quest for purpose, for what you really love, has to be done in the larger scale, in the larger picture of some bigger and more let's call them philosophical, but they're actually real questions, like what is life, who am I, and what am I doing on this planet? I mean, you can call these philosophical or spiritual questions, there are many words that have been used and misused, but the truth of the matter is that they're just really human questions. And the reason why I feel that this larger framework is necessary is that your job is not your full purpose, I believe. And this is proven by when there are people who achieve a lot, let's say, and who do what they were meant to do, right? There's a lot of singers and sort of musicians come to mind, and even artists. But let's say they end up still, falling into addictions, depressions, they take their own lives. So if, really achieving your ideal job and really being the best you can be in terms of your, developing your talents, if that was really the end of it, then those people would have been happy, right? But life shows that they were not, a lot of them were not happy. So that's one thing to keep in mind, that this quest to fulfill your passions and to do something you love is part of a really fulfilling and rich life. But in my opinion, it is not the central part. Maybe for some people this works. For me, when I'm always questioning and tuning in to myself, this has not worked. And the other thing I wanted to share is that I think to follow your passion, I mean, it sounds great, follow, what they say in New Age, follow your bliss and so on. I think that this necessarily involves a great amount of risk, nevertheless. Maybe not a great amount, but you still have to take risks. Over the past 4.5 years, I have been sort of dropped out the very last semester from my PhD program. I was literally 2 months away from finishing. It's a long story, but basically, let's say it was a difficult situation there. I wasn't really among the right people, and perhaps I was not really doing the right thing. It's a very long question, and after that, I I wanted to take charge of my life. I wanted to be a freelancer and entrepreneur. And this has involved, some very risky decisions, which have been very difficult for me, because on the one hand, I love, taking a risk, but on the other hand, I just as much am afraid of risks, and I want to go for security, and not, there is, so there's a pull forward, and there's a pull to stay in the same place, and sort of there is a battle between the two. And I think in every person there is a different outcome depending on, where they're gonna put their will, and how hard are they gonna fight for. So I think the first step is to admit to yourself what you really want. That's already a risk. But then there are all these like small decisions, like I got offered a job in Vietnam, and so the job is security, right? So they're gonna give me a certain amount of money, but I'm just working for them, 9 to 6, let's say, all day long. And at the same time, I was working as a freelancer for a Russian company based in Miami, but it was on a freelance basis. I absolutely had no contract with them. I had no guarantee that they're gonna continue giving me students. So the job was completely in the air. But it was a much better job for me because because of the hours, and much less hours. I'm paid hourly, and then I can use the other time to make videos, to educate myself on things that I've wanted to accomplish, like getting a life coach certification, doing art. I'm just this is still just a hobby. I'm a budding artist, but still I take a minute here and there to do some art. And long story short, I actually took a risk, and I stayed. And of course there are many variables in this, so it's never gonna be the same situation for everybody. I was single, and still am. I had no children, so I had nobody to take care of, so that definitely plays in the equation. I took a risk, and it paid off, because I ended up continuing getting, and the thing is that things were working well with that Russian company, and I still work a little bit with them, some hours. So I took, let's say, a calculated risk, because things were going in a good direction with them. They first gave me 1 student, 2, 3, 4, so things were going well. And I also asked the owner, do you think there will be work for me in the fall? She says, yeah, probably for such and such amount of students. And obviously she cannot guarantee her words, they're just words. But but I took a risk, but a calculated one. Yeah. And many other smaller decisions, and like now, trying to have my own educational consulting business, I have to do a lot of things on the business side of it, which completely terrify me, and they don't come naturally to me. I am, for those who are interested in astrology, I'm a Gemini sign. I have absolutely no Earth in my chart, no planets in an Earth sign, except for the fact that I was born in the year of the rooster, which corresponds to Virgo, but that's another story. But anyway, so I'm an artist, so I've never been comfortable with the practical side of life. But to be on your own, to have your own business, you have to be holistic. You have to be able to develop a product, but at the same time to be on the business side of it. And I by no means have really figured it out yet, but just taking step by step. There are some days that are very hard, and I'm like, again, sort of terrified. Oh my God, what am I doing? Where am I going? Just learning to have trust in the universe, and I guess, as corny as it sounds, to go with the flow. I'm not sure if I've learned really yet to go with the flow. I hope this has been somewhat interesting, if not helpful, for somebody out there. I just enjoy sharing my thoughts. I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Take care. Get your moonlight. Should've looked good in the moonlight. Was supposed to look so